Just got finished freaking exercising at the gym, and yeah, I did make a video. I know it's kind of late, but I was trying to make a video a couple of days ago talking about what happened when I made my last video talking about UR. And this lady, I guess she forgot that I remembered her from my last page, which got shut down because she was like not in agreement to what I was saying about patterns and breaking down strongholds and how do you overcome obstacles, because nothing was really offensive on my page. Some of the same videos that I posted on my last page that got shut down was the same videos that are on there now. So and as you can see, it's yeah, but some people will get offensive by it. I don't know, but take it as whatever. So, um, yeah, but she didn't hide her picture. You know, some people, they usually put like some kind of icon in their picture spot when they're on YouTube because you have a profile and you put your little comment on there. So she saw me after I finished that video. She gets up and she says, um, yeah, didn't you have another page? I said, no, why? And then she's like, well, that was the good information. I was overhearing you. I was listening. And I was like, looked on my, something just told me to look on the freaking YouTube channel when I see her as a freaking person. So I'm like, okay, great. Um, but whatever. So she's like, how do you keep doing it? How do you keep going? And how do you get people to follow you? And you just started. And I was like, um, what I do is, for one, I don't follow trends. I don't. Um, I try to be true to myself and do what God has called me to do. Everybody has some kind of purpose or some kind of place in this world, and you have something, some assignment to do. You know, it's up to you to find it and cultivate it and bring it to fruition. So, and that's what I told her. I was like, you know, you just gotta feed it. Like, gotta give you stuff. He'll give you insights, but you can't get mad. There's a lot of people on earth, they get mad because they had an idea and somebody else had the same idea and they come up and they don't water it, and another person water it, and they else coming to fruition, and they say, well, I could have did this, I should have did that. That's because you were lazy on the gift. So my thing was to tell her to just feed it. She was like, well, I want to do a YouTube channel. Okay, well, what's stopping you? Get up and just do it. Like, why are you trying to ear hustle on my thing? Like, I'm not knocking nobody on my page. It's not like I'm trying to shame anybody on my page or anything like that. I just speak what God gives to me. Um, and when people be like, well, God, it's not, sometimes it's not intense. Sometimes it is. You know, I speak my truth and you can do the same. Nothing is just going to come to you and it's just going to be a huge success. No, you have to feed it every day. You know, when I promise, this was the spirit like talking to me, like I was going to go and own the shelter, you know, and I went right to work at it. I started going under people who had enough experience and credentials to do it. But God only let me go with them so far, and then I had to shift, and I had my own obstacles, and I learned firsthand how the stuff happens, you know. And then after that, I got shift into what are you gonna do when you have no option left, you know. If it's something that you really want to do and it's designed for you, it's like life and death. Like, you get up every day and you breathe it. It's like you go to sleep and you have dreams about it, like, and you can't stop. Like, you can be doing something that looks like on the outside like it's giving you everything you want, and you will still, if it's not your passion and your passion is there, it'll still be creeping up in you. So what I did was just shut out all the outside stuff and feed it, feed it, feed it, feed it. Nurture your gift. It's just like a seed. You know, the thought, everything starts with a thought, you know. That's why when it says in the Bible, casting down all vain imaginations, because if you let it fester, it will manifest. Just the laws of the earth. That's how you have domain. You dominion and domain with the mind and the heart. You know, that's why God tests you, and He tests the minds and the hearts. Because once you start thinking it, it'll go out. Think about people who advertise. They put things in your portals, your ears, your eyes, your nose, you know, sensory stuff like that. If you keep doing it, after a while, it's going to manifest into something else. So Yeah, that's what I had to do. Feed it. You know, you want to go do something. This time I didn't ask for subscribers and tell people subscribe to my channel or anything. I just went and just started talking. I was just like, if this is God's will, He will bring the people. He will bring the people. Whatever message is this for, that person will get it. Because God is just like that. And when you're trying to search something, if you keep looking for something, you'll eventually find it. You'll eventually hit it. It's not like what people will tell you and say that something will never happen. I kept trying and it didn't happen. That means you just stopped. You probably stopped right before it was time to blossom. You know, think about people who plant seeds in the ground and they go and they water them, and then other plants around them are growing, and they forget about the one seed that they planted, you know, because it's taking too long. And after they trim and pruned up all the other plants, that one is just budding out. It's just like that. So you just have to water it, nurture it, take care of your dreams, protect it from the sun rays. Sometimes you got to protect it from haters, um, and freaking people who don't believe in that. It's just crazy. You have to like shut them down, shut them down. Don't cast your pearls before swine. People who are not in tune with that, who are not in tune with laws, or people who are lawlessness. Like, people think that people who are lawlessness are people who are usually outrageous. They don't care. Um, they say whatever. That's not always the people of lawlessness. People of lawlessness, they look like you. They want to feel good. They want to feel loved and attracted. They want to do the right things, but they're not applying the principles. Like, okay, say for instance, you got this person who wants to run a marathon, and they've never ran a marathon before, and it's this cranky person who's been running, and they're like, how does this person win? And how I'm a nice person. Yeah, you are a nice person, but in this whole challenge, you have to do, it's not about who's nice and who's wrong. You have to nurture it. If you want something, you have to go and get it. So you have to train to be a runner. You have to get up and walk. Start with walking, crawling. You might have to walk around the block. Then after that, start jogging. Then after that, jog a little bit more. After that, do a little bit more. You know, um, God might have gave you a gift, but if you sit down on it, and you might be supposed to be the best runner. If you just don't work at it, then it's not gonna happen. Or someone who's really fast and they want to be a runner and they don't train, and then this person who's slow and they kept pacing at it, you know, and then they beat them. They're like, how does this even happen? And I'm faster than them because they put their energy to it. They kept training. They kept feeding it. They kept nurturing. Think about all these people who was like that, who were like considered failures. Like Michael Jordan, he was the worst person on his team. Worst person in high school on this team. But guess what? He kept feeding that thing like boom, boom, boom. I know what I want to be. I know what I'm going after. And guess what? He was like one of the greatest basketball players of athletes, not even basketball players, athletes of all time. You have to feed this thing. You want something to work. You want something to manifest. You want a nice house. Guess what? You're gonna have to feed that thing. You're gonna have to feed that thing. And in order to feed, it's not just feeding it is letting go of some stuff. You got to trim it. You got to let go of trimming those weeds around it, those negative people. I'm not about to let you go over here and kill it. You got to go. You got to go today into now. You got to go like yesterday. So, um, yeah, that's what I got from that woman. I was just like, And then I had to have an aha moment because I was like, when my page got shut down, it was crazy stuff. And then it was that time when YouTube was like shutting down people's pages for like the simplest of things. I mean, people wouldn't like it. They would get a whole cahoots and they would say one thing, and then it's a funny thing how people are. Sometimes they'll um, read the cover of the book and not actually read the book. Can't judge a book by its cover. So they see the comment that this person made, and they didn't even look at the whole video, and then they flagged it, flag, and then the next thing you know, you like your whole thing shut down. You can't bring nothing, and it's like, okay, which there's other outlets too. I have like other social media outlets, which took me a minute to do that too, because I was just down and just out. But one thing I noticed is that God respects order and He respects law. Like, He's not going to change that law. I don't care what nobody say. I don't give a care if you say you want to be um, um, freaking acrobat. You don't practice those laws of freaking getting up and exercising and follow the rules of what an acrobat does, then you're not getting it. You want to be a politician, but you don't do what a politician does. It's not gonna happen, Captain. So, yeah, feed it, feed it. Whatever seed is planted into you, it is your job. It is our job to find out what seed we need to plant. And some seeds do need to die, like negativity. Like I said, when you feed one thing, you have to kill something else. Something else has to be killed. That's just how energy is. It's transferred. It's not like increasing, it's transferred. So all that negative, that's why I was kind of happy when I had all that negative energy, and people don't understand that. When people start saying negative stuff, it hurts. Yes, you're going to cry. You're going to cry. But guess what? If you know the laws of energy, E equals MC squared, then you know you still have power. That's energy. That's still power. Energy is power. Whether it's negative energy or good, it's your opportunity when that happens is to try to shift it back into focus. Now when I come back, see, y'all thinking like, oh, well, how's she saying when she come back? Because I know the laws. I know the laws. Okay, when you know the laws, can't nobody freaking trick you up. Can't nobody do nothing. When I come back, it's gonna bring a lot of people to shame. But it's going to magnify and it's going to be intense because I'm going in authority. I'm going in the procedure of law. And like I said, God cannot void that law. Like the stuff that he made on the earth, like the laws that we have in our books, because we have given dominion. Those are the laws that we created. He gave us dominion to do that. Now he's going to obey that. When I went to the lady who was over the shelter, this is so funny because this is part of feeding now, okay? Man, I didn't have nothing, not a dime. Like, I had saved like $4,000. I was like, that ain't nothing, but $4,000, at least I can go move around and I can find out what to do, you know. My credit was still okay, so I was like, I can get a place and find out within like 2 months, get a job and find out what is it. Everything just went like, shoo, like taking off. And I'm like, God, did I apply these laws? Did I do the right thing? Yeah, I did. Okay, and I was still crying. It hurted. But what I did when I got to this lady, she was like, she let me just started volunteering at her shelter. She didn't know that God had already called me for that. So I'm like, hey, this got to be Elijah and Elijah. So I went and I wrapped this red cloth. I was just praying over it. And I wrapped this red cloth it was the only piece of cloth that I still had. And I don't know why I carried it. I don't have it anymore, but I used to carry it everywhere and just pray. Like, that was the only thing that I really kind of owned that was really, really mine. And I wrapped it around her, and I was like, you know, just like Elijah and Elijah. And I followed that lady every single step of the way. Like, this lady was old. She had a lot of experience, but it was a lot of stuff that I was younger that I could do that she could not do. And that's how God bridges stuff. You have to feed it. If I wouldn't have fed that opportunity, it seemed like I was ready to die, but actually it was the best gift in the world because that lady not only nurtured me and started helping me, she started seeing that God had called her for something greater. And that's what happens when you start trimming and feeding your plant and trimming and taking proper maintenance. You start getting stronger. But not only that, the other plants can see and they'll start coming together. Think about when a plant is first planted and they have seeds around it, and they'll have the weeds and they'll trim up and pluck up the weeds. But then as soon as like they start sprouting out, they'll start connecting. They'll right next to each other. Trees do that too. Their roots start connecting. They start intertwining. And that's what you kind of want. That's what you kind of want because you want to be strong and you want to be stable. And then it's harder to pull that root out once you got a strong foundation because it's the roots. But when they start intertwining, you're getting more energy, more backbone, more firepower to do the things that you need to do. Because of that, a lot of avenues that I would have never had opened up because I kept feeding it. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a roof over my head. Everything, like I said, I was still applying the laws. I still had to keep doing it no matter what it looked on the outside because that means something is happening, happening somewhere else. So yeah, feed it. I don't care what it looks like. If it's something that you're supposed to do, get up and feed it. Feed it, feed it, feed it. trim yourself, guard yourself from negative Nancy's and Debbie Downers and all the people who they really have a good intention, but they never seen it. You know, some people can be in your family and you tell them and they like not getting it, and they're like, okay, well, this is gonna be a flood, and they already putting negative comments, negative seeds into you. You have to be like, oh, understand. You got to be around people who are like-minded. Um, but the first step is just to plant the seed and feed it. Yeah, it took 15 minutes for that stuff. Okay, hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and thank you so much for tuning in.